Live Friday night. It's FSBRacing.com. Winston Cup 88. Season 19. Just for this series. The 14-year run of FSB continues. And this is Winston Cup 88. And it's race number 1. And we got some players here. Milton Jr. along with the voice of FSB Racing, Greg Bernardo. What's up, Greg?
What's up, Milty, everyone? FSB Racing back on the air. New season here at a great track to kick it off too, Milty. This is the Atlanta Motor Speedway. This is the one that we've came with the game. So most drivers are very well versed in this track. They've been on it many times, so I expect some good racing, some new changes, well, maybe not new, but what's old is new again, sometimes, Milty. And speaking of that, let's start it off first with one of FSB's maybe greatest driver of all time, Milty, the GOAT, Matt Watkins, is coming back.
There goes that man.
He's in the field.
There goes that man. The 15.
So obviously he immediately becomes the driver to watch, Milty. Let's not forget, Isaac Johnson is going to try to make every race. And if he does, he's going to be a force to reckon with. Two-time now Pro Cup champion, Milty. And when he showed up on Friday nights last season, it was always entertaining, to say the least.
Absolutely, wins and grins from the fans who this kid can roll. Looking to create a career in real life, working at 16 years old, working the go-karts right now, and looking for a ride to bump himself up. Getting ready to go to college as an engineer. This kid has got racing in his blood, and
he's squared away. And like I said, Milty, if he shows up every Friday night, he's going to be a force to reckon with. There's our kind of famous now yellow Bumblebee car of the '91 car, Ken Shea. Let's see if Ken. And again, he's another guy, Milty. If he could put a full 20 plus race season and show up, he would be right at the top of the standings.
Yeah, it's the only reason why he's not a multiple champion. Like a lot of drivers, they have to do life, and he races when he can, but he's got the skill set to make it happen.
Absolutely. And there's our good friend in the 17, T. Roy. T. Roy, he
Stockton, California.
Yeah, he's the quiet one, Milty. Just he shows up, and then all of a sudden we start talking about him about halfway through a race, and then there he is in the top 10. Speaking of the 15 car, testing out that pit lane speed, as he knows what wins races here at FSB, Milty.
They're all just pushing the envelope.
Absolutely.
Under practice right here.
Green flag stops at FSB.
No harm, no foul.
Extremely common. And how you get in and out without getting penalized determines sometimes who wins a race here at FSB, because of the propensity just for green flag racing. And we see the 43 car now, Milty, a little announcement at the beginning of the season. The 43 car has left Slim Sim Racing, and he is now on, I believe, Bad Boy Racing. And
yeah, these guys are all cool and all friends. The reason why they left is just to mix it up a little bit, and absolutely, they're all still just total buddies.
Right, and so
there's no drama.
Yeah, so Rick on Bad Boy that left one driver void for Slim Sim, and they filled that with the two-time now and defending FSB. Pro Cup champion Isaac Johnson filled that space now. So we got Slim and Isaac and Jeff Hale
This is a star-studded field full of champions.
That's a stout
Steve
team
Weber
now.
in the back.
Yeah, now Monsoon immediately becomes a rising, like the phoenix, Milty, from the ashes.
That's the way Matt roll. That's the way he
Matt
roll.
Watkins comes back to the Monsoon shop, and do they hand him a broom because he's been gone so long?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Or would he snap that thing over his knee?
Guy Petras sweeping the flow, which he's in the Carroll Shelby Ford tonight. So
yeah, Guy always expectations of someday sitting in that throne-like chair they have at the Monsoon clubhouse.
Yeah,
so
get the
close,
broom,
yet
boy.
So far.
Sweep that. Pick that up.
Yeah. Now with Matt back messing the place up even more, Guy's gonna have another full-time job on his hands now. But let's quickly get to this field, Milty. And who's sitting on the front row here? But the 99 and the 09, a bunch of 9s on the pole.
Brian Lamb.
Outside pole, Brian Lamb, and the old man. 99, Pops Margison.
And Pops
on the pole
Margison.
here at Atlanta. Pops loves, these are Pops' tracks, and he shows it. Rick and Ken Shea in the second row. 007. Dan Jones. 59, Ryan Johnson. Ryan, don't call me Isaac Johnson. On the outside there.
Yeah, son and father are now on separate teams.
Yeah,
and
we heard some venom earlier from the two.
Yes, in the drivers meeting.
Let's keep
definitely.
An eye on that here as we get a green flag, and the 99 car leads this field down for another season of FSB racing. And Milty, a blast from the past here. Gave me some little inside info. 2006 was the first Winston Cup Series race on Friday night. Milty, did you remember that?
Yeah, the question is who won that race?
Yeah, that's a great trivia question, and I think we both know the answer to that. Maybe we'll leave it open.
We'll let that fly a little bit.
Fans here could chime in with an answer there. Yes, there was of course, a winner of the very first Friday night Winston Cup race, and it has not stopped. And now it's 2017, Milty, and these guys are still racing the same mod on these basically same tracks. That's pretty cool.
Well, this is Atlanta, each cookie cutter is different. This is one of my favorite tracks. This is old school Atlanta from when the game was designed and built in 2003, and flat and banked in the corners, different banking, and tire wear is huge here. You can roll fast or you can roll smart. You see Matt Watkins
right now
instantly starting in the back with the dogs. He's got a plan.
Yeah, that's kind of a tradition for Matt Watkins. He likes to start in the back. He likes to analyze the race from back there and pick and choose his spots. And there's almost a little contact there between 72 Isaac, 62 Sean Reap there, Milty. And looked like Sean had a lift just a bit there, gathered the car back in line. Ken Shea, I think, gave him a little break there as well. Early on, that's a veteran move there by the 91 car.
Three wide. Ryan Johnson down low.
But
he backs off.
That's what called no good deed goes unpunished, as Ken Shea lifts to let Sean get in so it doesn't get hairy. The wolves are snapping at his heel immediately. And we see Dan Jones there, Isaac, Sean Reed Pops falling back a little on the outside. The inside is the preferred line here, Milty, on this old track. You want to stay low. You want to stay in that dark part of the turns. And really, that's where you make your hay on this track. If you get out of that, you're really going to pay the price in time and in tire wear. And you're not going to be able to make a full run the way you like to. Well,
you can push hard to start. And take a little wider apex into the corner, but later in the run, you got to back it off. You got to be mindful of your tire temperatures.
And yeah, I got a big grin on my face here, seeing the 09 Brian Lamb just
how about that?
pounding out to the front of this field, man. And it looks like to me, Milty, just how many laps here? Just 7 laps so far into this race. That someone's been doing some work. And
absolutely, that's what he's done in his short sim racing career. Brian Lamb,
he is looking really good here.
He's run well in Grand Touring prototypes, which is a totally complete discipline. Gotta think that that has helped him. That preparation and practice, and this short off season at FSB, this guy came to play.
Yeah, he has, and he's leading right now. Dan is all over him though, trying to find a way by. Outside is a very difficult pass to do. Isaac now taking advantage of Dan trying to look to the outside there.
Isaac trying to make it 3 wide. He has to sneak
the
in
door.
there. John Reap, mindful of that, gives him the space, but he's got cars behind him.
Pile up there.
Oh, wow, that was close.
Milty,
right
this
there.
field is separated by just tenths of a second in qualifying.
This is pro sim racing right here.
A lift, and you have like 8 cars that are right on top of you. And, you know, these guys are doing a great give and take here as side-by-side racing behind the leaders. Sean and Isaac, again, battling side-by-side. Ken Shea, Rick Connor, right behind them side-by-side. And then Ryan and Pops. Pops fell back from the pole, Milty, but he's kind of maintained that top 10 position still. So, you know, this is a tire-saving track that really rewards you. And I think Pops knows that from, I don't know, probably about 3,000 laps here.
Well, Sean Reap talking about some of the wins he got last year, and he did it. He did it just like this. He's very smart, and he sees it. You got to know your competition. You know, Isaac, the young 16-year-old here, is going to want to push, and you know, he's going to have to give him that spot, looks like.
Well, and Isaac's car is coming in now, I think. He's really hooked up in those turns, Milty. He's able to keep the power down and stay really low onto that white line. And that's a big advantage here in Atlanta. It really saves your tires and gives you the speed at the same time. So he's sitting now up into third. Lamb continuing to lead. Dan has settled into second place here behind him. I think Dan recognizes the same thing, you know. A little savings now might go a long way later. And now we see some guys from the back that we haven't talked about yet starting to make their presence known, most likely here, Milty. The 25, Slim Sim, the professor. He's got a young pupil now, Milty, but...
Step yourself into a Slim Jim!
Who will be teaching who? Will the kid teach the old man a few tricks? Can you teach an old dog new tricks, Milty?
Yeah, you know, these guys are all good.
Oh, and Dan goes for a little ride here.
Dan got spooked there.
Yeah, great save and great reaction by the entire
Oh my
field.
Gosh. That was, you know, the pass in the grass, except he got past. But.
Yeah, but what a save by Dan to not lose the back end of that car, and great job by the field in allowing him the space to come back up onto the track there. But yeah, that obviously cost Dan some track position. But now Isaac in the second, Rick and Sean battling for the third position now. Ken Shea, interested observer right behind him, gonna decide which line's doing better, and right now he's picking the inside, and it looks like that was the right move, as now Sean and Ken have gotten around Rick in the outside, and now Slim trying to follow.
We're gonna have to see how the 09 Brian Lamb, how that car is gonna run, but in the long run. But I'm seeing that, you know, this guy is he's a very intelligent driver and guy, and
there's the
he has you know, put the work in, and also understands he's getting into that rhythm of pace, and he's not really abusing the car, and
very smooth, Milty. Isaac is slowly reeling him in.
Leading is hard on a cookie cutter like this with these great drivers behind you. You can overdrive your stuff here real easy.
Yeah, you can, because you know they're going to come, and you want to get out as fast as far as you can. But that's just not the right way of doing it, because they're going to catch you no matter what anyways, because they're that good. So you just have to accept that and just try to run smooth. So when they do come up to you, you got a good car there to maybe make a few moves and defend your position as the leader.
Wow, here come the Wolves.
Yeah, now we see Ken and Slim. Man, Slim has made a nice move from back to front, and now we're seeing also right behind Dan there, the 15 car, Matt Watkins.
Wow, all the way up
into the top 10. Lamb continuing to maintain a nice little cushion there. Isaac has his hands full really from behind with Ken and Slim now. Sean is kind of falling back here into a follow position between the two guys there. And then slowly the back of the pack is making its way to the front, Milty. And that's Matt Watkins, that's Jeff Hale, and...
Well, yeah, Hale was with him too.
I need to check my scorecard here. I don't know, I'm not familiar. 98, Sam.
Oh, that's the guy that holds the league, I think. You know,
I'm not familiar with that 98 car. It's not on my my note sheet, Milty. Is this a new entry here?
Well, this is our leader here, and of course, you know, Jim Race ceded the league over to him, sold it to him, and he's done a great job. And he was dealing with health problems and also, you know, computer and rig problems. See, he
like
told us he was going to be
really
back.
As he's following
Duke can roll. Duke can roll, and he loves that high line. You know, he's a high line runner, and he likes 2 tires in the black and 2 tires in the gray, and that's what you're seeing right now.
And he's following the right guy, Milty. When you come back, if you stay glued to the back bumper of the 15 car, you're going to probably be at worst second place, I think.
Well, Sam, such a great guy, character, our leader, and also just awesome.
Wow, Dan got himself into a little pickle there. He went a little high, almost got into Matt Watkins.
Boy.
Jeff Hale snuck underneath him, Milty, and boy,
that's
that
the way
was
it
a
is
little
when
dicey
you're following.
for a second there.
Let's go a little, give us a little in-car here, Greg, and we can see why, you know, maybe he missed the apex a little bit. Your line of sight is junk when you're following your car here.
Well, we'll run with the professor as he's battling for the lead here, Milty. He's up
this
on
is
the
what you
side
see out the cockpit right here, and it ain't much. You got your spotter telling you inside, 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 clear. Now he's folding right in behind him.
Really a good hard battle side by side. Slim's able on that outside line to keep his momentum built up, where
they're side by side.
Smaller, you know, the shorter course.
Slim's still hearing outside or inside, 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 still inside, still inside.
Really battling now. Matt Watkins will be creeping up on both of them.
Here he comes. Inside clear. You see when you see him in the mirror, then you're clear. Matt Watkins saving those tires early. Tire wear, like I said at the beginning, is huge here, especially the first few laps. Keeping your tire temperatures down. It's so hard because you want to keep track position, but he's moved from like 18th position up to P2. Of course, we know who this guy is. This is Matt Watkins. Multiple, I wish I should research this, but he's won everything in this league and other leagues, and here he comes.
This is a classic battle of two veteran drivers, and Matt Watkins really has some speed going right now with just really keeping those tires at optimal condition, and he powers to the inside of Slim. And
for over 10 years, these two guys have gone at it, and Slim and Matt Watkins, and here they are. Slim was saving his stuff. He looked, I could see he was saving his stuff, and still Matt finds a way to get around him. We'll see now if Matt can push. And
well, let's talk about pit stops, Milty. 28 laps in here.
34 is probably your number here.
130 laps in the race. We see Isaac way
32
up there.
to 34.
And Lamb looked a little uncomfortable there, swinging the car around there. He drove really a fabulous first, we'll call it a first run here. Was just great job. He started on the outside pole. He immediately took the lead.
Absolutely. He's in great shape right here. You got Ken Shea, CG as we call him, in fourth there. You're in great position here. You have to execute your pit stop. You have to assume this is going to go green, and he's up with the big boys here.
Oh, and there's contact. There's contact as pit stops were starting. I don't know if...
And Lamb going into pit road. And
wow, I thought for sure there was a wreck there, Milty. It looked like
they
somehow
early.
Saved it. Lap 30 pit stop.
You can't make 120 at 30 laps a run. I'm a little surprised there.
I'll put you short if it stays green. Damage, though, to the 72 car, Milty. There was an accordion effect there, and I think Isaac got the worst of it. He's still going, and I don't know if it hurt any speed, but you can certainly see some damage to the car there. Yeah, as Lamb came into pit, it really stacked up. I don't know if it was a late signal by Lamb. I don't have the communications in front of me there, Milty, but
yeah, I'm taking a look at it. He definitely texted.
Yeah,
that he was pitting.
It
So
certainly looked like it may have caught some guys off guard. Not that that's any of Lamb's doing. So pit stops
now
are
we
happening
got
though. Lap
walk-ins. We got box. We got pit stops now.
Our leader Matt Watkins, Slim Sim.
Really thought
right
they could make
him.
it to 34, but 32 will get it.
Oh, and Slim has to lock up there.
And Matt Watkins, and Matt Watkins too.
Matt used up the whole pit lane there.
These guys might be punking each other here. Wow.
Matt in, Slim in. They're pitting right next to each other as well, Milty.
This is where you kind of want to be, fourth or fifth place, and try to get a nice clean stop here and make some
lots
mojo.
Of pit stops happening now. Now Matt Watkins out and Slim is out. Matt
gets up. Slim burns the tires off the Slim Jim. A-League number 25. Snap yourself into a Slim Jim.
Dan Jones in and out. Isaac may have to address some damage. I don't think he can do it under green flag conditions. He's just going to have to take his medicine here, 4 tires fuel, and get out there.
Oh, he is. They are beating on it. He's sitting there.
Yeah, so he's elected to take his medicine here. I don't know if I would have done that, Milty, but you got to make the call. It's on the fly, as you always say. You got to be crew chief, driver, owner.
You're everything.
Tire changer and repair guy. So lap 34 of 130 pit stops taking place here.
Guy pitcher leading right
yeah.
down the Shelby Ford, but he'll be pitting too.
Yeah, we see guys getting up to speed. T-Roy in
and he
out.
is in the fuel window, which is smart. At
Yeah,
32,
and here we see some late pit
you're
stops,
real
guys.
close.
Right, Milty. Ryan Johnson in, Ken Soskin, our admin. There's Guy Petra in the 151.
These
in
are
and
all.
out.
These guys
Great
are all
stop
good
for
if
the
it stays.
151.
These guys are all green if this goes green.
Yeah, and that was a fabulous stop by the 151 crew for the first race of the season. They were.
Yeah, well, he missed. You know, he's an admin. You know, and he missed Wednesday because he was still partying and thought it was going to start Monday. But that's to be expected. You know, and Guy Pitcher, what a great guy, great friend, and he's had computer problems. He was just glad to make the race tonight, and
yeah,
he could win this sumbitch.
Absolutely, a great 35 lap run by Guy Petra along with Ryan Johnson and Ken Soska. They all hit that 35 marker, Milty, so that could pay dividends if we stay green. Of course.
Well, you can stop a little bit earlier. Yeah.
Let's check on the kid here, Milty, the 72 car, Isaac Johnson. As you can see, as he crosses the line, we'll check his time to the leader. You can see he's 27 seconds behind the leader and 11 seconds behind the field. So the repair definitely hurt track position. He has managed to stay on the lead lap, though, Milty. And as we speak of lead lap, let's go back to the lead pack. Matt Watkins, Slim Sim, in the
Slim all over him.
Have cycled.
This is a huge rivalry for 10 plus years.
Yes,
these two in many leagues, and ultimate respect for each other, but they know in their minds they're not arrogant, but they know.
Well,
but they know we're gonna end up in front, and eventually I'm gonna have to deal with you.
Yeah, and there's also a guy in the 29 car that they're probably gonna have to deal with, Milty, and that's Jeff Hale, who
they switched teams, and they're like
hardware himself.
They're like best buddies, and also raced on teams for years, but they just decided to let's split teams and mix it up and have some competition. And the trash talking was huge in the drivers' meeting before. It was, these guys are on, man.
Matt looked like he had to chase the car up the hill.
He did. He do that though. One time a race, that guy just almost wrecks the car. I don't know what it is, and then he goes on and wins the race.
But never does. And
well, I've seen it. I've seen it in the Indy 500. I've seen it in many races. It was like he wakes himself up and goes, "Wait a minute, I'm in a race here. I gotta focus."
Yeah, and Jeff trying to stretch that lead. This is where Jeff likes to be. He likes to try to get a little separation and then try to increase that lead just a tenth at a time until he's got a comfy one. I don't know if he hasn't dealt with Matt in quite a while. With Matt, running maybe just one or two races here or there. So Jeff's going to have to reacquaint himself with that 15 car real quickly.
It's 10 years, whatever. It's like it was yesterday, and they know that other guy in that 91 Bumblebee has he's been in this dance before.
Oh yeah, and I'll tell you what, 09 Brian Lamb holding his own in this lead draft.
Great stop. Just like I said, he needed to make that execution. Yeah,
right where
when you're sitting where he is, and I've been there, and you're in P5, and you're like, oh my God, I'm racing against these guys right here. I'm right there. The thing is you got to execute those next two stops,
And Rick also was in kind of almost, I wouldn't say in danger, but he kind of fell back there, made a nice recovery right toward the end of the end of that run, and got in with this lead pack. Had an excellent pit stop, because if you don't, Matt and Slim and Jeff will leave you in the dust if you don't have a quality pit stop every time. And these guys did under pressure. Ken Shea, you know, like we said, Milty, when he runs consistently, he just gets better and better and better each week. And, you know, pit stops is where you're usually the rustiest when you don't run regularly. And you saw Ken nailing that first pit stop. So he's got to feel good about that. And if you're Lamb, you got to feel you right where you want to be 44 laps into this race. You couldn't ask to be better being in the lead pack, you know, being leaders in sight. And the guys that you're in with are named Matt Watkins, Jeff Hale, Slim Sim. You know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, there's been times where I've had long layoffs. Computer issues, life, heals, well, yada, yada, yada. But sometimes you just dial in a race and everything goes right. Maybe that could be, you know, what could happen to the 91 of Ken Shea tonight. You know, you never know.
Yeah, then let's
it's not like these guys don't know what they're doing and haven't had years and years of practice. But at the same time, sometimes when you suit up and show up, you just feed off your natural ability and see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, Rick Bisconer up in P6 there. Don Reap kind of surveying the situation here.
Yeah, we see Sean is about 5 seconds off of that lead group of 6 cars.
Small bubble compared to these leaders, you know, that's all it takes.
He's really only has one helper in the 007 but 6 against 2, Milty, is not a good proposition if you're these two guys. You're kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Well, we saw those pit stops. I mean, they were sideways. Yep, sorry. We saw those pit stops. I mean, they were sideways coming in. Matt Watkins and Jim Gately nailed the toe, and you know, they didn't you know, incur NASCAR's wrath, and because there is a pit road speed limit. So, you know,
they got those cars
and they got it down there, and they were pushing the ultimate limit. And, you know, probably the 43 and the 62 were probably like I would be, you know, just a little bit more conservative. I don't want to mess this up. I just want to get my pit stop clean. That's all it takes when you're dealing with professional sim races like this. These guys are on it.
Yeah, we go a little further back into our top 10 here. Right at the bottom, 9th and 10th, 99 pops from the pole. He's hung around in the top 10, so nice recovery. He's about 9 seconds off the pace, but only about 3 seconds off of those other two, Sean and Dan Jones. And they might have a better chance because the 17 T-Roy, 98 Sam Young are also there. So 3 against 2 there might be in the advantage for these guys.
Yeah, T-Roy, you know, great friend, long time, you know, deals with diabetes and shines, and you know, great buddy, and you know, he's and his racecraft has improved so much. And he's definitely looking forward to getting the top 10 there.
Yeah, we come back up to our top 6. There we see Lamb and Rick in the back part of this. Now they've kind of lost a little ground to our top 4 now, Milty. They're trying to break away from these two. So we'll keep an eye on that. We see Ken Shea, Slim, Matt Watkins, and Jeff Hale keeping that about 3 or 4 car length lead. Slim has not left the back bumper of Matt Watkins, and Ken Shea has not left the back bumper of Slim Gately either, Milty. So these 4 have really hooked up right now.
Well, I mean, fuel is a huge issue here too. Still, even the guys that went 33, coming out of the pits on 34, the last pitters are still right on the edge if this thing goes green.
Yeah, and remember, three drivers, Milty, got to that 35 marker.
Yeah, you're golden then, you know, if you can do that over and over again.
And those drivers are not a lap down on the lead lap still. That's very crucial to the strategy.
Absolutely, yep.
Because, Milty, we're already on lap 54. This race has really picked up the pace with Jeff Hale, Matt Watkins, and Slim. They're just really pushing the envelope right now. And we're almost getting ready for a second round of green flag stops here, Milty. Caution free right out of the gate, race 1.
Well, it's pro sim racing at its best.
Boy, if you thought, well, this is first week of the racing, I'll start mid-pack, I'll just cruise for the first half, you're already 20 seconds, you're already a lap down. These guys have gone, man, and caution free, so that means if any mistake is hugely magnified with the green flag conditions there. Let's check on Isaac Milty. Remember, he had some damage that he had to address as we come through the field. There we see the 59 Ryan Johnson, 83 Steve Weber. Not seeing Isaac, he may have had to retire the car, Milty. And looking on the running order, we see that he has retired. So, the damage.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm sure he's
looking
to race for this championship. He's been a Pro Cup champion. This is one that he wants to get. That's a hard knock for first race of the season.
Yeah, and another thing that I'm seeing here is the 43 car, Rick Pisconer, has really fallen off the pace. Remember, he was with that lead pack, and now Sean is right on his back bumper, and you see he's over 6 seconds behind the lead now. So I don't know if Rick had a problem and he had to catch the car, or if he just felt that pace was not right for him. But he's fallen back, so now Rick, Sean, and Dan Jones are in like a second pack of cars. Up to Lamb, who's kind of now running 3 seconds behind all by himself. And then up to the top 4, Milty, Ken Shea, Jeff Hale now back to 3rd, Slim 2nd, Matt Watkins back into the lead. So Jeff has given up the lead to Matt Watkins and Slim. But now Matt goes up high again, Milty, and it looked like he had to downshift that car to catch it. And so Matt maybe shaking off the rust here week 1 of Winston Cup racing. Slim into the lead, Jeff Hale back to 2nd, Ken Shea now in 3rd, Matt Watkins falling back to 4th to gather up that car and give it a go again as we hit lap 60, so we should start seeing pit stops again as well. Remember, Lamb came in lap 30. Will he go a little longer this time and try to stretch it out a bit? Here's our top 4. 5th place, 09 Brian Lamb.
Oh, wow. I had my mic off, sorry. Been talking for a while there. This race smells green, so Matt Watkins is kind of staying back. He wants a clear path to his stall. He'd rather have those guys in front of him and deal with them and put the pressure on them and let them make the mistake here.
And 09 in, 43 in. So our second round of green flag stops are underway, Milty. Brian, and the 05 up high there.
That won't get it.
Looked like he might have brushed the wall right in front of Sean and Dan Jones there. So Still going, and we're stay green. That could have been.
You got to make it to 65 here.
Yeah, and we see Lamb and Rick in.
At lap 63.
Back up to the leaders.
Just counted. The leaders are on that pace. You can go a lap or two one way or another and try to make up some, but these guys aren't driving the crap out of it. They've been pacing each other because they know they all want to make it on fuel.
Yeah, and I think Jeff Hale really has gone into a little conserve mode here. Ken Shea up to second, but Jeff was right in the thick of things there.
Okay, box. We got Hale, we got the 29. So this lead pack is probably going to pay it too.
So there's
91, Ken Shea.
There's our leader Slim as he locks it down.
Wow,
wow! Slim onto the grass just a bit.
That could be a penalty right there.
Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, if you can get it back going again. Wow, Slim came in hot too, Milty.
Oh, yes. I mean, you got those guys behind you feeling that pressure.
Ken Shea in.
This stuff's intense, man.
7 Ken Sasuke in early. He was one of the late pitters. Now he came in early. So not gonna.
More tires for the Slim Jim Gay Lee.
Oh, and Ken comes right out in front of Slim there. Almost a little contact there. Slim had to, I think, slow it down when he really probably wouldn't have liked to. Now we got a battle on the apron here with Slim and Ken. You don't see too many apron battles, Milty, as Ken Shea. Slim lost it. Let's see what happens here. He's off the racing surface.
The veteran spins it coming out of pit road. Wow, that's...
Did it bring out a caution is the question. He was off the racing surface.
We are green.
Wow, that's really going to cost Slim, Milty. But, man,
holy cow.
Oh, and there's almost contact between Lamb and Rick there as pit stops are still continuing and a little checkup there.
Yeah, you got cars that are already pitted, and you got cars that are pitting. I mean, they're trying to grab their asses with two hands right here, you know.
And Matt Watkins now stretching out this second run. He's still out there. 8-second lead. Guy Petra was in second. He's coming in now for his pit stop. Remember, he was our leader at the end of the last green flag, but Matt Watkins now really stretching the fuel mileage here, Milky.
He's put money in the bank. He's watching these guys make mistakes, and there
he is.
And
he's in and
part
out
of the
now.
greatness of the 15, and guys like Rick Johnson is not here tonight. Your defending champion is they know how to handle stuff on the fly, you know. And
but one thing I'm noticing here, Milty, is that late pit stop by Matt Watkins has really adversely affected him as far as track position. Remember, those guys were in and out, turning faster laps while he was turning several much slower laps. And now that he's been in and out, you can see he's come out 4 seconds behind Jeff Hale and Ken Shea, who's our leader.
Absolutely, that, you know, I mean, these guys are all pros too, and you know, when you look at the disparity to best lap, the last lap for these guys, you're looking at
see here,
these guys are running close to qualifying speeds coming out of the pits, and Matt was sitting out there running a second and a half behind speed-wise.
And we see some smoke there in the back.
We got a car off. We got a car in.
Still green though. We see now a real big battle developing for the tail end of the lead lap now. 07, 83, and 151 are battling each other at the same time. Ken Shea and Jeff Hale are battling for the lead of the race. This can be dicey here, Milty.
Well, Ken Shea should have enough fuel, and he's executed well one more time. Got to do it.
Yeah, and Webb and Ken Soska are fighting tooth and nail here to stay on that lead lap, number one, and try to keep the 91 and 29 behind you and hope a caution might come out here. But now Webb on push to the outside, and he's going to have to give a little ground here, I think. Now
these guys want to stay on the lead lap.
Can he maintain his position? Ken in late, so he might have a little fresher tires, Milty. So he can use them up here, maybe a little, keeping them in front.
Oh, you got to.
And also, Guy Petra's in the same situation. So if you're Ken here,
they
you really
need
like
a
to get
caution
around Guy
big
as
time.
well. Yeah. Or, of course, yeah, get the caution and not be the caution. But Kent Shea and Jeff Hale now really trying to make it a two-car race if it stays green. Matt Watkins over 8 seconds behind Milty. He was over 10 though, so he has made some inroads, but I don't know, Milty, 8 seconds. It's going to take some real savvy strategy and, of course, fast driving, which he's very capable of course. But right now, Matt showing 9 seconds off the lead in third. Back to fourth place.
Yeah, that's the multiple champion. I think Blue Chunks there a little bit, and also, you know, he has no draft help. So
right, and speaking of the draft, we're looking at who's behind him. We see Rick, Sean, and Brian Lamb are kind of all nose to tail, kind of hooked up together, drafting. So will they be able to run Matt Watkins down? I think the answer is going to be yes here, because Matt is falling back from the top two, and
he's
now
probably backing it off too.
Yeah, and maybe he's trying to back up to these guys, and then say, okay, let's all try to save some fuel and make one more stop, and that's it. Because now, if you're Matt Watkins, it has to be a fuel win for you, I think, as Ken Shea and now Jeff Hale, our leader, in this traffic here. Jeff has maneuvered around Ken Shea to take the lead, and now he's trying to pass Ken Soska, put him a lap down on the outside. Very difficult to do. Ken fighting hard, as he's, you know, should be doing right here, Milty, because you have to think if there's a caution, there's only going to be one. But right now, Jeff's car is looking very solid. Ken would really like to get around the other Ken now and get back to Jeff Hale's bumper and not lose touch with him.
The boss, Sam Young, having a battle here with Troy Knoll for 7th place. Just great to see him back in the car and running well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see T. Roy and Sam there, 7th and 8th place. Just minding their own business, cruising around, waiting for the next green flag stop, Milty.
You know, when you're in the position of where they are, you know, we're in the top 10, but what the hell just happened? You know, I mean, you execute perfectly and run your race, and next thing you know, you're 10 seconds down, you know,
yeah.
15 seconds down.
We can see now that Rick is slowly reeling in, if you will, the 15 Matt Watkins, and there's the 62 and the 09. So these four now are together, and that's the biggest group of cars on the track. So we'll see if these guys can now reverse that trend, as you see over 14 seconds now, Milty.
Well, it's professional sim racing. I mean, these guys executed perfectly, and they're in the weeds with the dogs because the leaders just hung it out there on pit road sideways, and they were inches and seconds from breaking those timing lines and going, having to do a stop and go. So, but
Yeah.
that's how they roll. I mean, that's the difference, right? They roll together until pit stops, and the cream done rise to the top there.
And see, Jeff and Ken are still in touch with each other. Guy Petra sandwiched in between them right now. Just went a lap down. Guy showing in 12th position, 1 lap down now. Pops, Ryan Johnson, maybe Jeff's next victims here. He's really setting the pace now, Milty. Lap 83 of 130. So when can we expect to see Jeff in? If he's just going to he's got to make this one more stop. So we would think about lap 95 or so.
Yeah, that's pushing the envelope right there. At 95 is about, you look at the lap times here. You look at the boss, Sam Young and T-Roy. They're about a second off here from that draft.
Yeah, we see our leader, Jeff Hale, best lap 30.04. Last lap 30.97, so nearly a full second slower than his best.
And about a full second. Last lap for P8 was Sam Young was 31.061. So
yeah, so running only a couple tenths off our leader right now, Milty, as the lap time.
But that's how fast it. Yeah, they're in the ballpark, but their track position is toast. And as Sam Young takes a look and passes T-Roy, somebody off and tire marks there. We stay green.
Yeah, then we see Sam and T-Roy.
These guys obviously want a gosh darn caution,
Now they're trying to get to the back bumper of Brian Lamb, showing in 6th position. Just a great race by Lamb, running into top 5s now.
Absolutely, yeah.
All night long, led a bunch of laps.
You and I both know, sim racers, how hard it is to compete with these guys in this arena, and yeah, it's a fantastic run. Bring it home, son.
Yeah.
Gonna step away for a sec. I'll be right back.
We see 62 Sean Reap now making a move on Rick, and that is for the 4th position. 4th and 5th, and now Sean into 4th, Rick back to 5th. Matt Watkins continues to be in 3rd, but it's now 16 seconds behind our leaders. See if we can find our leaders as we go up. There's Ken Shea in 2nd, just a half second off the pace of the 29 car, Jeff Hale. As you can see, Guy Petra is still running respectable lap times. Of course, Guy really doing a great job of stretching that fuel mileage early in this race. It's cost him now to be 1 lap down, but he does have the freshest tire and probably the most fuel of anyone. So he can certainly get to that 95 marker and make it on 1 stop. And he's in touch with the leaders, so he should see Jeff Hale maybe pitting before him, which is what he would love to see. But Ken Shea doing a great job keeping in touch with Jeff Hale, not letting him stretch out that lead at all. Still just a few tenths off the pace, and now we can see right in front of Jeff, the 99, 25, and 59 are now in jeopardy of going possibly a lap down as we close in on lap 90 of 130. No caution yet. Green flag since the drop. Just great driving all around. We've had some scares, but the flagman has decided to keep this race green, and it's really separated the top two from the rest of the field. And you can see the back part of this lead lap is going to have to pick up the pace just a bit, or they're going to get left behind by Jeff Hale. And Guy Petra has managed to get around Jeff Hale, so Guy unlapping himself from the 29. As I said, Guy,
great way to fight, man.
Yeah, and he has fresher tires and more fuel than anyone. So, you know, maybe those fresher tires are playing a role now as Jeff's.
He needs a caution, big time.
Definitely are going to be worse for wear right now. And
this guy can roll too. The 151, great friend, longtime friend, my teammate in the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and we had a good car and we ran well, and we had a lot of fun too. So
yeah, now Guy battling position with the 99 for 11th position. So Guy not only unlapping himself, but now looking to pick up positions, and right ahead of him, Milty.
Gotta use the tires up, son. Get hope for a caution.
Yeah, and he's trying to get Pops a little arrow loose there, Milty. Right up.
Yeah, these are some of the best in the world here.
And just a nice job there, Guy. And he should be able to take that position now. I think Jeff and Ken Shea will follow him through. And let's see if Guy can get the work on Ryan and Slim here. Remember, Slim made a mistake coming out, Milty. Got a little too hot on the flat part of the track on the apron. Car came around on him on the cold tires.
Well, stuff yourself into a Slim Jim. You know, it's going to be all about, you know, look, this guy could be a multiple champion, but, you know, he does life. He's a grandfather. He's got stuff to do, so he don't make all the races, and he's okay with that, you know. He could be a champion easy multiple times, but tonight he's managing this race, and it ain't over yet. The fat lady ain't singing yet.
Not at all. Still closing in on 35 to go, though, Milty, the magic number. Looks like Jeff Hale, Ken Shea.
Yeah, let's look at the radio scanner here, and just as I say that, box, the 09 to 43, they were on the edge of the fuel window.
Yeah. And
like I talked, 34.
Great job by stretching it, because, yeah, a couple of them came in, remember, Milty, early on lap 30, which was a no-go. And I think Lamb was one of those, so he had to get
did
those
stretch
10 laps. So that's a great job by him. And Rick Bisconner, I think, was also one of the early guys. So they've really done a great job with a green flag race to manage that fuel. And
part of that is because
nice job.
Yeah, absolutely. Part of that was because they weren't in the draft and they weren't using as much fuel. But
now Slim coming in. Jeff Hale right behind him. So one of our leaders,
Jeff Hale. This is money time. This is money time.
May have been an orchestrated.
Oh boy, the two ex-teammates talking trash to each other before the race in the drivers' meeting, and they're nose to tail, and they love it just like that.
And Jeff really came in at an angle there. I thought he may get punished, but it looks like they're pitting
Slim
the car,
didn't.
so
You know,
great job.
the 91 needs a box here. Ken Shea, your leader.
Yeah, he's going to have to pit like this lap, Milty. And let's see if Ken does. You cannot leave speed on the table now.
Box, 91. Here's the race right here. Bumblebee. It's another driver that you could say could be a multiple champion. Skills, short track skills, everything he's got is legit. And let's see how he deals with this. Smooth. The cameras are on, son.
Yeah, very smooth. A little puff of smoke from the brakes. Keeps it on the surface. At the speed. Check his speed. Right. 45 on the button, Milty.
45. Got to be 45.
He's not even going to be at 44 here. He's going to.
Pops Bargerson, the venerable one.
There.
Love seeing Pops out here competing. He's had kidney stones. They blasted those out of him. But I don't even want to know what that entails. But courageous man.
Ken in and out. Great
Yeah,
stop by Ken Shea, Milty. Let's see where Jeff Hale
absolutely.
is. As we come around, Ken out.
Oh, great stop for
getting
the
up to
91
speed.
team. I think he's independent right here. Teamless.
There's Jeff Hale. So as Ken Shea comes out,
Come on,
Jeff
Ken.
Hale gets by him for the lead. Virtually for the lead. We still have some pit stops.
Long way to go, but I like the 91 chances here.
I heard some lock up there. I don't know if that was a pit. Maybe Ryan leaving the pits there. This is always a dicey time for cautions. There's Matt Watkins. What's going to happen with him? We have Petra in the pits.
Problem is the 29 and the 25 came in together, came out together. They got that draft. These Aero 88 retro cars, fans, you know, you're looking at older cars here. And the physics with this game is very draft dependent. And Ken Shea's out on his own.
Well, he's right on the back bumper, though, of the 29, so he's caught their draft. So I think he's going to reel Jeff in.
There he goes.
And
traffic, a little bit of traffic there.
Yeah, and now Ken's tires getting up to temp. Remember one lap.
Oh, they're not traffic. They're in the same lap. Biscotter right there. He's got to get onto that. The 43 has got to get onto that choo-choo train right there.
Yeah, it looks like Rick is not going to be able to do that though. But now it really. Oh, and Jeff goes very high there. Looked like he was just laid into the corner there, and Ken takes the lead here at lap 102. So under 30 laps to go, and Ken Shea back into the lead. And now
you do not want that guy behind you. That 91, when he's focused, and he is like everybody else. He's a pretty busy guy, you know. But when he is on his money, you better watch out.
Now, how will the professor play this? Slim, last car on the lead lap, right ahead of our leaders there.
Gosh, it needs a caution, obviously, you know.
Of course, all now with fresh tires and fuel, so this is all about who wants to leave it all hang out right now. Will Slim keep it pedal down and just force Ken to pass him the hard way, or?
Well, you know, Slim is
tough decision.
Is one of the guys I respect the most, and he will battle for this.
And caution could come out anytime, Milty. And if you're ahead of the leader in this race with this rules, remember this is old NASCAR rules. No wave around, no lucky dog, no none of that. If you're behind the leader when the caution comes out, you're a full lap down, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah, you know, and obviously, if he didn't have a car that could compete, he would lay back. Otherwise, per rules, you got to fight.
No, absolutely.
And he will fight.
Yeah, he has something to race for here. Still 25 laps to go, so it's plenty of laps of racing remaining. And Slim's car, as we saw early on, Milton, before the mistake, it was a solid car. It was a winning car. So there's no reason that he can't lead these guys just like he was leading them before that happened. But of course, he's going to really need a caution, or it's just not going to happen for him tonight. And the way this race is going, I would be surprised to see a caution, to tell you the truth. As Slim now gets to the back bumper of T-Roy.
These guys are good, man. You kidding me? I mean, this is pro sim racing at its best, man. I mean, yeah, don't make too many mistakes, you know.
Really don't want to leave our leaders here, but let's go back to our third and fourth place battle, Milty. and that's Matt Watkins and Sean Reap. They're over 20 seconds behind now. Ken Shea and Jeff Hale just have torched this field with their pit stops and just doing nothing wrong. Matt Watkins made a decision to stretch that one stint out.
That killed him.
It really adversely affected his race.
Very rare that he doesn't. I mean, this guy's like, he helps us all with our computers. I mean, guy's is smart. It makes me feel good because, at least when I've made mistakes in the past, I realized anybody could do it because he did it,
This was our battle for our final podium position, Milty. Matt Watkins, of course, has been into the booth many times. He's not much of a... He doesn't... He doesn't seek the limelight, we'll say. But acknowledges that when he's a race winner, he's got to do his part.
It's like Fred Astaire or Gene Autry. They got their name on the chair already when they come in.
Yeah, he has a director's chair that has his name on it. Jeff Hale, of course, has his own chair as well. And, Ken just hasn't been around, so we'll have to dust off a chair for Ken Shea. Because he's definitely going to be on a podium here, I think, Milty, barring any unforeseen incident. Question is, will
be good on fuel.
Matt Watkins be our third place finisher? And you can see they're nose to tail. Sean just biding his time, I think, right now. And I think he'll just make one stab at it and try to make that one pass.
Well, I was looking on Facebook today, and Sean was talking about, his mom watching. Well, actually, that's what we were talking about. The Facebook page or the Twitch page. Mom wanted to watch this replay there of his win last year, and. But I guarantee they're probably watching tonight, or we'll be watching the replay. So,
yeah, we a little lazy on my part there, probably to the fan bases there. I do have the races, just haven't got around to uploading them into YouTube, which would be our permanent repository of our races. Twitch is kind of our broadcast medium that we use to show it live. And then it does save it for a little bit so people, can watch a quick replay immediately. But after that, it goes away from there. So apologies to Mark there. Apologies. But we'll get your kids. We'll get the kids win up to YouTube, and it will be immortalized there shortly. But right now,
we appreciate all you do, Greg, all the time. And, we all have lives, You managed to bring this broadcast to the fans here and to the drivers and their families, so we definitely appreciate that.
And right now, we're definitely into a two-course race.
Oh, smoke! Somebody into the wall there. They got going, but there's tire tracks into the wall there.
Yeah, we're looking at the running here. We don't see any noticeable incidents. We do see green. Did Ken Shea just bump the wall, though? Wow. Or was that just a little glitch there? I don't know.
Oh, he's got Jeff Hale all over his yin-yang right there. Mama, there goes that man. Who is that man? That's Jeff Hale, and he's ready for business. Jeff early in his career was known as a hard charger and, run hard in the front and then fade later. But this guy has got all the...
That's a thing of the past, Milty.
That's a thing of the past. He's a multiple champion, and he could probably have 10 championships if he...
And he's proven now that he can lead.
Here he come.
He can have a pole and lead every single lap of a race, or he can
In my-
start in the back and work his way right to the front and win a race.
In my sim racing experience, when you got the 29 behind you, you know, you got problems.
I will say though, Ken is just running the perfect lines and hitting his marks lap after lap here as they count down very fast. Lap 118 of 130, so time is running out on Jeff Hale as well, as Kent Shea just not making mistakes.
That
Slim
Dodge is lined up, man.
to not affect this race so far. And I think Ken Shea is using that draft to his advantage, Milty. And it really balances out the speeds that Jeff is able to get there.
We see the car that Slim Jim has, and you know, he's praying for caution, obviously, but that's how fast it goes bad here.
Yeah, and if you're Ken Shea here, you're really in a kind of a awkward position.
You got two former teammates that know each other from hand to toe and head to toe, and you're in the middle.
Yeah, and I mean, you would love for Slim to just go up high and let both of you around so you can just continue, but you also know that he has no business needing to do that, so you got to maintain kind of the pace. But then Jeff Hale's crawling all over your bumper, so you can't slow down per se to, you know, let Slim ride around in front of you either. So Ken Shea has to make a lot of decisions every lap here, looking at the mirror, looking at what Slim's doing, checking his fuel, maybe looking at tire temps to see if he can manage it. So a lot of stuff going on here.
Well, the thing is, they got somebody to pace them. So, you know, if I was in that position, I've been in that position, I would be using him to pace me and pace my opponent here right now. You've got coming up on, you know, 9 laps to go.
Yeah, we're inside of 10 laps now. 8 laps to go. Ken Shea, Jeff Hale.
You want to save as much as stuff and see when somebody's going to go, and or if they can go, you know.
They really put a beat down on this field. Only 5
cars on the lead
lap. Slim right on the tail end, and then there's only Matt Watkins and Sean Reap, and they continue to battle just a couple tenths apart, just like these guys do. So third place, Matt Milty, is not going to get decided, I think, until we see a checkered flag out, as is first and second. So lots of battles going on in this race, within a race, really.
You know, I like where Jeff Hale's sitting right now. He's like,
and Ken the inside there of
the Viper. He's
Jeff had to check up just a bit there. What a run! Now Slim goes high with 5 to go. Slim has given the line to the leaders and fallen back behind, and now Ken and Jeff will go head to head here.
That's great sportsmanship. That's probably what I would have done too. I mean,
he raced hard for that caution.
And it didn't come. Now it's time to.
Right now we know.
And you see the consummate pro of Slim Jim Gately, letting them go and let them battle it out.
Yeah, that's good stuff, because Slim knew that even if now a caution did come out, the race would probably end under caution, and there would be no business. You know, he's still going to finish in the exact same.
Hey, you know, Slim walks the walk and talks the talk and walks the walk, man.
Yes, he sure does. And now Ken, it looks like, has got a
we got a race
cushion here, Milty. I know Jeff's right there, but this is a little bit of a lead that we are not accustomed to seeing tonight. And
the 91 Dodge has been on rails the whole time.
it sure has.
Racing against him before, and all these guys. I don't expect him to make a mistake here unless.
I don't either. And I don't know if Jeff has enough now.
I don't know if he's got something for him.
I mean, if he's holding back, now's the time, Jeff. Let it out. Is he going to go high and try to, like, dive down low? Passing on the outside is going to be extremely difficult.
Yeah, and Atlanta right here is, you know, you don't really have to defend because you run the low line anyway. You're defending high, so as long as you hit your marks, your opponent has nothing for you because his options are to go high.
What he's got to do is try that low line down that quad oval part of the track.
Oh, Jeff up against the wall there.
Of the wall, trying to do a little too much.
He's trying everything he can. Obviously, he wants to win this race.
We're going to see a white flag out for Ken. 1 lap to go. Is he going to be able to hold off Jeff?
He's a seasoned veteran. He know what to do. The Bumblebee. And Shea, 1 lap to go and counting.
And it just does not look like Jeff's going to have enough to get him. He just not missed a beat in this last run. Every turn was just right
pit stops, coming off the couch after the first race of the season and running limitedly at FSB
he will take the
last year.
Jeff Hale
Skeegee gonna win that thing.
Let's quickly go to the battle for third, and now Sean has gotten around Matt Watkins, and they'll come down the backstretch for the final time for the battle for third place here.
Great run with Sean Reap and Matt Watkins. These guys are like individuals.
Hold off Matt for third.
They're thinkers, man, big time. Great job, Sean.
And really,
that is your podium.
And really, for Matt Watkins, Milty, what could have been race? Just a poor. I can't. Can I be critical of a 500-time champion? I don't know, but I.
Well, he'll be critical on himself, I'm sure.
There, but Matt Watkins has stretched that run way beyond what needed to be stretched as well.
The only times I've ever beat him is when he's made those few mistakes, and John Reap, I'm sure, is thinking, I'm lucky to be on the podium against this guy. You know? That's why we race, you know. That's why we do it, you know. Race against guys like that. Sometimes they don't win, you know, and you get to beat them. But the show is all about the 91 Ken Shea.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great win.
A caution-free race to start the season. Look at the speed of the race, Mill. Ken Shea had over 173 miles an hour.
Completely green flag racing, ladies and gentlemen.
That's
no cautions.
Wow. That's not the way I would have told you before the race, Milty.
Yeah, me neither.
I would not have said that we would have a caution-free race at Atlanta.
The first race of the season, everybody fired up, adrenaline.
Absolutely.
You run the simulator like you and I both know. You get your adrenaline kicks in. I don't care if you're doing it right. You get fired up, you know, or you should be doing something else. You know?
Yeah, let's acknowledge the rest of this top 10 who just, you know, really just were overwhelmed by Ken Shea and Jeff Hale, and they're just raw speed and every pit stop
nice
maxed out.
Top 5 by Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, tremendous top 5 by Ryan.
Family
Pop.
Victory there. He's gonna slap the youngster upside the head there, or maybe mom might, you know, but
Yeah, and Pops there, Milty, sat on the pole, went back,
Great job
looked
by
like he
Pops.
was, in
The
trouble
venerable
there,
one.
but just,
One of the few guys
persevered
older
and
than me here.
great job, 6th place. Boss man Sam Young,
Sammy,
first
way
race
to
in
get
a
back.
long time.
Way to get your feet wet. Top 10.
Absolutely, solid 7th place, competitive
Finish the
racy.
car.
Guy Petra had some good strategy early on, and man, if this pace wasn't so vicious and brutal, the strategy
Yeah.
was sound.
They needed caution
Yeah,
at
and
the right
just
time.
did not get it. And we saw him with the speed, Milty, as he passed our leaders to get back onto a lead lap momentarily there, but he did finish 1 lap down in 8th position. T-Roy with a solid run as well, battling there all night, 9th. And how about Lamb, Milty?
Well,
Outside pole,
he'll be
led a,
hard on
yeah, he
himself,
will be,
but
but
I think that because he
definitely
is,
the
but
yeah,
that was definitely that those are building blocks you can build on. Yeah,
absolutely. I still give him an A plus grade for this
absolutely.
race.
Hit
He
the pole
handled.
against these guys.
I mean,
Shit.
anytime you're at the front of this field to start a race on cold tires, knowing that you got, some of the guys that you have in this field behind you, it's really nervous time, no matter who you
Heck
are.
yeah.
And he handled it like a pro. He took the lead solidly. He really stretched his lead at times. The car looked tremendous. Just a great overall race for Lamb. Top 10. Uh, Nothing to be ashamed about at all.
One thing
And
we
the
do,
rest of the guys,
yep.
we saw Slim with that one mistake, Milty, and it
The
punished that one mistake is all it
yep.
takes.
Admin Kinsoska, guard and Biscayne piston, mechanical failure, sucks.
Yeah, and we
But
saw Isaac did get a little damage early on and had to address the issue in the pits. I don't know if something, just did not make the car competitive then, and he knew that it was, not the best idea to run around wounded. So Isaac did retire early on, but possibly not his own doing there. But that's it, Milty. See if you can gather up our
yep.
finishers.
I'll be back.
They are available, and we're looking down here in the channel, and we do see our competitors there chatting about the race. We'll respect their area there, and we'll stay up here with you as Milty goes down to gather them up.
Oh, hang on. I got a phone call.
The sponsors are calling already.
Wow, and yeah, so as the top three staggered their way into the booth here, it's been a while. Of course,
champagne flowing over
Jeff
the
Hale,
91 of
yeah, no stranger to the booth. But big win here to start the season for the 91.
Champagne flowing all over the 91 of Ken Shea.
Absolutely, and great finishes all around here. And let's start, Ken. Man, it's just you and Jeff just torched the field as far as making your stops and getting out, hitting your marks lap after lap. They're saving enough fuel to make it to the end. Just almost a picture perfect race for you two.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, it was decided by just really a few tenths of a second in the end. So just a tremendous win, Ken. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. It was a great race. Thanks, and good race, Jeff. And yeah, I don't know how I did that. I'm not a fuel saver, so I don't know how the heck that happened. I just stayed behind any car I could find, and hopefully I saved enough, and it worked out.
Your car was so good that first run. stayed back and laid back and stayed right there, and just you seemed when everybody else was pitting together, you kind of pitted a little with a couple groups there, and your groups kept coming out, and the second stop and then the third stop, it was you and Hale. But before that, you executed those pit stops. I think that really, in my opinion, won the race for you.
Yeah, I seen Jeff and Slim actually pitted a lap before me, and Jeff did that a couple times before that too. And I went in the pits, and I still had 3 laps of fuel. I think it was the second stop, and I'm like, "Oh, this is going to kill me in the end." And I thought I should have pitted with Watkins, but it kind of worked out okay.
Yeah,
well, you nailed it, man.
Yeah,
nailed
we
it.
definitely noticed in the race that once the fast leaders pitted, staying out beyond maybe like the 1 lap you did there would really work against you.
That killed Watkins.
Yeah, it really killed his chances. But let's go to Jeff here. Jeff, now you did your kind of your traditional starting in the back, work your way slowly up, which you did quite quickly there under green flag conditions. And man, the car looked like you just picked up right where you left off last season, Jeff. Just a great run. I mean, really, in my opinion, it just took almost a perfect race from Ken there to hold you off.
Yeah, absolutely.
To start the season again, Jeff.
Yeah, just consistent all around. Good pit stops. Didn't make any mistakes. Got some exciting moments there on the track. That was a lot of fun though, coming from the back. Congrats to Ken though. I know we were pitting with groups. Like I said, that's what hurt Matt. He didn't have nobody on that one stop, to work with him. But I was looking at my fuel with that second to the last stop, and it looked like I was going to run out in turn 4. I would have stayed out 1 more lap just to be sure, because I had to really save a lot of fuel to make it there at the end. I actually ran out crossing the line, so didn't have enough for Ken. I just saved as much as I could, and I was going to give it all I had, but about 2-3 to go and see what happens. But congrats to him. He did a great job.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, thanks, man. I mean, that was what we were seeing and thinking fuel-wise. We knew it was going to be close, man.
Yeah, absolutely. We were feverishly working pencils and paper because I don't know how to work any of those fancy computer stuff things. So, but yeah, we knew it was going to be tight for a few drivers, and running out the line, that's about as tight as it gets. And let's move down now to normally, Milty, if we said Sean Reap was battling Matt Watkins and nipped him at the line by 0.2 of a second, you'd be like, well, congratulations on the win, Sean. But it was for 3rd place, Sean. And,
well, those are. I don't care if it's 3rd place. When you beat Matt Watkins,
you can tell your.
You can tell. He's got 2 young boys. I'm sure he's gonna be throwing that on the big screen tomorrow morning when they wake up.
They got to see the Pro Cup one where I got him.
Yeah, you could. Absolutely, but yeah, it was a good little battle between you two there, and again, Sean, it was tough to keep up with just no help from a caution there.
Yeah, I mean, you guys executed perfectly, and they drove in there sideways. I mean, we were watching when you watch the broadcast, I mean, Slim Jim, Jeff, Skeegee was pretty much smooth, but a lot of these guys were just I mean, we were thinking Slim Jim was like off into the grass. I mean, everybody was pushing that pit envelope crazy.
Now, what got me was not the pits, but on that first run, I went a little too hard, tried to move to the front too fast, use my tires up, and I was falling backwards, and I ended up in the mid-pack when that little kerfuffle happened on the first round of pit stops. Yeah. And I just stopped basically to miss it, and the field got strung out, and never caught the caution again. And I lost my drafting partner Dan, but I picked up others to draft off of. I just went into clutching mode from that point on, and eventually I found Watkins, and I guess I just had fewer problems than everybody else from that point on, and managed to salvage a third out of it. So I'll take it, considering I thought I was done if I didn't get a caution.
Yeah, that little incident right toward the tail end of the pit window there really did shuffle the field with Isaac eventually retiring from that, and like you said, just massive loss of track position from the leaders, and really without the caution help, no recovery from that.
I mean, there was a car stopped in 2, there was a car stopped in the front stretch, no caution.
Yeah, we saw that, but they got going real quickly and they were off the track, which the old school tracks like Atlanta,
stock tracks will do that. So great job, Hale and Shea there, waxing the field. They almost had us lapped. I was clutching under the last run there, and when I realized I was finally good on fuel, I finally turned the F2 on, and I look, you're 2.9 seconds back. Oh crud, I gotta go.
Thanks, Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, those two really put on a show tonight. So
let's get back to
kick off the new season.
Let's get back to the winter here a little bit, though, Shay. I mean, you run, limited stuff, and I always, I mean, I've raced against you, and I know what you can do, and tonight you really showed the Ken Shea, that I've seen throughout my career, and it's got to be a fantastic win. It's been a long off season, and probably haven't run. What have you been doing? I mean, you running other places or what, or just brought that? I mean, that was. You beat some good guys tonight, man.
Yeah, I don't race anywhere else. I just race here, and I finally changed my pot. So maybe that's what the deal was. And then
your steering wheel, yeah.
No, it was on my gas pedal, so I almost had a built-in clutch there because it would go out every once in a while. And like the other night we were racing, I can't remember where, and I was catching Jeff, and then all of a sudden the pot would go out, and I'd have no throttle, and I'm like, okay, see you later, Jeff. And then I moved too. So I moved to Hawaii. So
you moved to Hawaii? Huh?
Yeah, so that's part of the deal. It took a month and a half to do that.
Wow.
And then you just show up and show what you got, man. That's just awesome. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, thanks. I'm really glad the connection's good and everything is fine. So.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you that far away. You looked rock solid out there.
Yeah.
You just gave yourself a new nickname then. There you go, Milty. For next broadcast, it's the Flying Hawaiian.
The Flying Hawaiian.
Totally, man. Great race. Crazy speed there, as we were saying. 173 plus miles an hour for the average race speed. That's maybe one of FSB's fastest races.
Clean and green.
Absolutely. So great way to kick
I think we got 19 of these left. I think so. Stay tuned, folks.
Absolutely. So again, thanks to the guys for joining us. Congrats, Ken, on a big win. Hope to see you out defending, seeing you go back to back here. Got your hands full because usually there's more than a handful of guys who can easily win a race here. So any win is a big win in this series for sure.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
And Milty, another successful adventure, and hope to do it again all next week.
Yep. Privilege. Get on. Where we at next week?
That's a good question.
I can bring that up right now.
Yeah, let's take a look at that before
I
we
was just looking before. I think it's like Kansas or something.
Yeah, remember the Winston Cup Series generally has an emphasis on speedway tracks. Of course, they do sprinkle in a little
Actually,
Talladega.
Super Speedway, Daytona.
And there we go.
Oh wow!
The granddaddy.
I would expect even more cars. You know.
Yeah, I would look to see for a few more cars and look to see if you can get out front and you can stay out front in that race.
And look for the 62 on his lid because Daytona hates me.
So we'll watch interestedly if Sean can reverse his curse. I think he already won at Daytona last season. So.
Truck race last season. Last season.
His memory's short, Milty.
Yeah, that's one for 15 years of doing this.
Yeah.
And one time it didn't go pear-shaped for me at Daytona.
You never know. Obviously, you're on the podium tonight on a hard track like this, so you definitely got the skill. You just need the luck.
Well, Daytona's right place, right time, wrong place, wrong time kind of track. So we'll look forward to that for sure.
Yeah, and thanks as always for doing the broadcast, guys. And congrats again, Ken and Jeff. And I'll catch you boys next week.
All right.
Yep.
We will catch you next week. FSBRacing.com. Check it out. New season underway. Get in on the action. Not too late. Sign up, and boom, you could be in this race next week easily. And
follow us on Facebook there. I'm doing all the posts and trying to get the word out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff on the homepage for that.
Yep.
And check it out.
Yep.
Appreciate it, and we'll see you next week.
Cool.
Night.
Bye. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it, fellas. I'm gonna get out of here too. Nice job again, Kim. I'll see you next week.